Hi, welcome back to Q.U.B.E. Director's Cut. In the last episode, Commander Novak gave us some pretty disturbing details about our main character. This information came in the form of a letter that he wrote to himself in the event of memory loss. You can see that letter on screen. We analyzed this letter at the end of the last episode, and we were able to determine that he's generally a pessimist. Before we move on, I feel like I should mention that this episode will be significantly longer than the previous ones. This section is very story-focused. With that said, it is time for us to go from Sector 4 to Sector 5, and we will immediately have a story moment up ahead here. So, yeah, it's going to be kinda tough to commentate in this episode, but I'll figure it out as we go.
You, listen. I know you can hear me down there. She's lying to you. She's a liar. You're not where they say you are. They'll leave you alone to die in the dark.
Alright, so we are solving puzzles in the dark now. The game is going to start us off easy here. We just have to climb upward. Now, you may think that was easy, but here's the catch. From this point forward, you can't see all of the blocks at once. Instead, you have to choose a color, make the necessary adjustments, then move on to the next color. Also, I should mention that you can't interact with the blocks unless you have that color selected. Alright, so we're going to move on to another story moment here.
I hope you can hear me. The lights on the outside of the cube have gone dark. Mission Control think that's good. They say you must have hit it somewhere that hurts. So keep doing what you're doing. I know it's tough being alone out there. I've been alone here on the International Space Station for over a month. Going round and round and round the Earth. And after a while, it messes with your head. The truth is, if you leave a person alone in the dark long enough, they'll lose themselves. Damn. I'm orbiting out of range. Keep going. I'll be back soon.
Okay, so Commander Novak is telling us that we are making progress in dismantling this structure. However, 919 is desperately trying to tell us that Commander Novak is lying to us, saying that they are deliberately leaving us to die in the dark. So now we are kind of entering this dilemma of, who are we supposed to trust? We will hear more of this as the story progresses, but remember, our character is considered a pessimist. So who do you think he'll trust in this situation? So here we have the same ball puzzles that we saw in previous sectors, but now it's in neon! Also, you can't really see it, but the ball does have a bit of a silhouette around it. So even though this room is completely pitch black, I can still see the ball. Here, I'm gonna kinda hold the ball in place. Then I'm going to push it up. This one over here actually confused me for a while during my first playthrough, because you have to have it set up in a specific way that isn't very clear. So what you're supposed to do is keep the ball where it's at, then you have to set up the blocks like this, and then you have to tilt the room so that the ball kinda falls into the field. And we are done with that section. And then the game gives us this easy thing that's like, here, have a break. Ooh, colorful. And I think you guys can guess at this point, but we have another story moment.
I don't have much power left. I've been listening from inside my box. They say you're out in space. You're not. You're underground. They've buried you alive down there so they could test you. They're going to test you and test you until you rot into dust. And they do something to your memory. They did it to mine. They don't want you to remember who you are, because if you don't know what's happening, you'll have faith that it will end. You'll have faith that someone will let you out of the dark, but they won't. You have to rip that faith out of your skull and replace it with truth, or you'll die down there.
So here we are being introduced to a new mechanic. These magnetic blocks will pull physics objects towards them. These puzzles usually involve a sort of, I guess, energy field that needs to be powered. It's something like that. Here we have to get this green block up to that light beam. So let me pull this out. There we go. We're not quite done yet though, because now we have to get up to the door. And we are going to do that by riding this block. Actually, I guess we're kind of surfing on it. My Californian descent has prepared me for this. Beautiful. Should I say gnarly? No, I shouldn't. So here our goal is the same as before, but now the magnet is on the ceiling. Getting this block to the light beam is easy enough. But now we have to get up to that door. So we're going to bring the block back down here, and we're going to ride it like an elevator.
Okay, fingers crossed you can hear me again. I have good news. Actually, two pieces of good news. We've started to see a definite effect on the cube itself. Parts of the outer layer seem to be coming apart. Whatever you're doing in there is working great. Second piece of good news. Mission Control say you're almost close enough for them to contact you directly. So we're going to organize a link up to your wife. She is dying to talk to you. Just keep going, and we'll make it happen. I'm orbiting out of range again, so good luck. And be careful.
So Commander Novak is still assuring us that we're doing fine, that we are still making progress in dismantling this strange structure in space that's heading towards Earth. But 919 is telling us that we're actually not in space after all, that we are underground being tested. He also claims that they did something to our memory, and they're giving us false hope so that we have the motivation to keep moving forward through these tests. Again, we still don't know who our main character is siding with in this situation, but we are still moving forward. This next puzzle is kinda easy to screw up. In fact, when I first played this, I actually threw my controller in anger. It's not difficult, but it's this timing part that got me. You'll see what I mean. Right here. Yeah, it's easy now, but this pissed me off a while back.
I haven't got much power left, so open your ears. Doubt is like a tiny plant, trying to push its way towards the light. But as soon as she sees it poking out of the dirt, she pours on more soothing words to kill it. You're making the cube fall apart. You're going to get to talk to your wife. You're going to get out. You're going to go home. You're going to save the whole earth. That's her poison. And you're drinking it. If you want it to stop, you have to stop it.
Alright, so I know this is kind of an abrupt ending for this episode, but we are technically in Sector 6 now, so it is time for us to do our little end episode summary. We've been getting a lot of conflict this episode. Commander Novak has just been telling us that we're doing a good job, while 919 is here telling us that it's all a lie. Our main character can't really say anything on the matter, and we don't know what's going through his mind, but eventually he's going to have to pick a side. Are we in space right now, doing our part to save the world? Or are we stuck underground, doomed to a life of testing with no end in sight? We don't know. We have no way of knowing. And on that rather grim final note, stay tuned for the next episode of Q.U.B.E. Director's Cut. Have a good day.